Date 3, my girlfriend was roped and then isolated herself from me due to trauma, but then cheated on me and tried to get her therapist to convince me to forgive her. Last week my girlfriend Sarah wanted me to attend her Friday therapy session with her to provide me with additional information regarding things that had happened over the past year, specifically in regards to her being with someone else. I went to the office and was expecting the absolute worst. I was expecting that she either had been with other people as well or she had been with this guy since she agreed to quit. I actually got there before she did and got to sit in awkward silence in the waiting room until she came in. The therapist tells me that Sarah has something she wants me to see and she hands me a handwritten journal that she has been keeping since the first week they started therapy. Sarah starts bawling and buries her face in her lap, and there are 2 post-it notes being used as bookmarks that I am to read. The first post-it note was very early in the book, and in it she describes our first meeting at her parents' house from her point of view. In the book she wrote, "Chad was very cold and distant from me," and goes on to talk about wondering if I thought she did this on purpose and if she was ruined. It kept spiraling down until she started to have bitter feelings towards me because of it. If you remember from my very first post, I was instructed to act this way by her mother. She said when she saw my post it immediately struck her that we were both talking about the same night. She has since confronted her mother about this and confirmed my version of the story. As it turns out, this was not the advice of the therapist, nor was this advice from a doctor. This was advice they were given by a rope advocate who was with Sarah in the ER. This woman literally told them to not let me near her until she wanted me there. Nobody ever asked her, she thought I didn't want to be there. This was more of a kick in the gut than I can describe accurately. Every single damn thing that went downhill from there was because a man-hating woman told them to keep us apart. I have already filed a complaint with the hospital administration and they have asked for a written statement which I am sending to them. How different would the last year have been if this person had not interjected herself into our lives? Both of us thought neither of us initially wanted to be around the other, when in fact that was the furthest thing from the truth. Now honestly it does not explain everything else that happened, like her distance with me even almost a year later, but that was the catalyst for everything. We spent almost the entire hour talking about that part, then I went to read the second post-it note that was about midway through the journal. She wrote very vividly about the day it occurred, and 2 things are coming from this. 1. She had been placed under a 72-hour detention at the hospital. Apparently the night it occurred she tried to take her life. Her sister is the one who found her and she was told by Sarah to not ever tell me about that. The second thing she wrote about was her cheating. It was her second day at the new job and she was working the second shift and a group of people were in the break room eating. She was the new girl and this is an all-male workforce. Of course, being the new person, they were all very friendly trying to get to know her better. She wrote that one guy John sat right next to her and kept talking to her and asking about her, and as the others were leaving to go back to their work she was getting up and John grabbed her thigh and told her to hold on and not be in a rush. She wrote that once he grabbed her thigh she froze up in fear. She had no idea what to do or what was happening, but eventually when everyone else was gone he started to do intimate things to her. At this point in time someone walked past the door so he backed off and she was able to leave. She was able to leave that night without having to see him again. The journal was handwritten in several different colors of ink, and if she did just write this before we went there she would have had to hand write in excess of 100 pages. So this leads me to asking several questions, not the least of which is why did you let me think that you had cheated on me for almost 6 months without ever telling me what actually happened? In her mind she said that she felt like she didn't stop him and that she thought I would consider it cheating anyway no matter how it happened. She also said that she felt very guilty about not saying no or anything for that matter, and that is what led her to take the meds and try to take too high of a dose. She had even told her therapist that she had cheated on me and never told her the extent of the story until recently. So when we went to the first meeting the therapist was acting on the same information I was. So that happened Friday. I told her that I needed some time to process my thoughts and would get a hold of her on Saturday. I exited and she stayed behind to do some one-on-one with her therapist. At the end of the day I think a lot of this has been very much dumb luck. But dumb luck doesn't take away the bitterness I have built up over the past year. I came to some conclusions Friday night and Saturday and I went over them with her on Sunday. I feel like I have taken a back seat to everybody and everything for over a year now. I've placed my life on hold and honestly felt neglected. I now see some of that was due to outside interference, but I also see some of that as my fault for not standing up for myself and letting this get out of my control. So while I know this is really going to tick some of you off, here is where it stands and likely be the last thing I say on it. I want her back in my life. She wants to be in my life. I love her and she loves me. That being said, I have to put myself in a place where she can be a part of my life, not just me trying to fit into hers. I will be involved from Sunday forward in all parts of her recovery. I will be consulted on any changes, progress or updates. She is going to be moving back in with me, but not until after I return from a vacation. I am taking 1 week all to myself and I am going on vacation. I would have been happy to go somewhere with her, but since she has changed jobs she has no time off available to her. I have enrolled both of us in a self-defense class. She thought this was a great idea and really likes that we can do this together. Her family and I had a heart-to-heart Monday night. I got a lot of things off of my chest that I had wanted to say, and to their credit they never got mad or defensive. I know for a fact that they were doing what they thought was best for Sarah. Yes, her sister was teasing me about my accident with her. I'm not sure who had more fun making me turn red, Sarah or Susan. But in the end they also agreed to making me part of the team. Overall the rest of the week has been kind of business as usual. She has absolutely kept her word about trying to make things right. She is much more the Sarah I remember. We both know that we have a long way to go, but we both believe in each other.